Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you've ever stared at a company technology bill and thought, where is all this money actually going? Trust me, you're not alone. Today, we're diving deep into the true landscape of managed IT services. We're going to demystify exactly what you're paying for, and more importantly, what it actually costs to keep your business running smoothly and securely.
Let me ask you this right out of the gate. Is your IT budget just totally unpredictable? Are you holding your breath every time a server blinks or an employee gets locked out, wondering just how massive the repair bill is going to be this time? It's a huge pain point for so many organizations, and honestly, it makes planning for the future incredibly stressful.
Okay, let's dive into this with a staggering number, $200,000. That is the actual ransom demand that a local dental practice faced after a hacker slipped through just one vulnerable network port. They encrypted every single patient file. The whole system was totally locked down. It wasn't until they brought in specialized IT help to rebuild and restore their data from the cloud that they could finally get operations back online. So yeah, the stakes for your technology have literally never been higher.
So to help you avoid a nightmare scenario like that, we've put together a clear buyer's guide for this explainer. We'll start with the business IT dilemma, demystify what primary IT services actually are, compare IT support costs, look at specialized service price tags, and finally, wrap up with making the right choice.
All right, Section 1, the business IT dilemma. Because before we figure out what you should spend on IT, we really need to talk about what it costs when you don't. $5,600. Industry research shows that's roughly what just 1 minute of IT downtime can cost a larger organization. 1 minute! And hey, this isn't just an enterprise problem. Even if you're a smaller, 50-person shop, a 4-hour outage can easily cost you anywhere from $25,000 to $50,000. Think about it. That's paying your whole team to basically sit on their hands, not to mention losing out on sales and customer trust. That right there absolutely anchors the immense value of having proactive IT support in place before things break.
Moving right along to Section 2, primary IT services demystified. What are you actually buying when you outsource this stuff?
First things first, we've got to define a term you'll see everywhere in this space, MSP, or Managed Service Provider. Simply put, this is a company that remotely manages your IT infrastructure and end-user systems. And the absolute key word here is proactively. Instead of waiting for a fire to start, they operate under a monthly subscription model to prevent problems from ever sparking in the first place.
So, what's on the primary menu here? When you hire an MSP for fully managed IT, you're getting a layered stack of services. It's essentially a whole IT department in a box. A standard package gives you 24/7 remote monitoring, meaning someone's always watching your systems. You get comprehensive help desk support. You also get backup and disaster recovery, so your data is continuously saved off-site. Then there's endpoint detection and response, or EDR, for advanced threat hunting. You even get strategic planning from a virtual chief information officer, or VCIO, to help map out your long-term tech strategy. Let's zoom in on that help desk support for a second, because it's structured very intentionally. Think of it like a ladder. Tier 1 is your first response, quick fixes like password resets, basic Wi-Fi hiccups, stuff that takes a few minutes. But if a problem is deeper, it climbs to Tier 2 advanced support, where seasoned techs handle complex application errors or server glitches. And finally, Tier 3 is the engineering level. That's your senior architects stepping in for major infrastructure design or deep security investigations.
And when we talk about security, you know it's not just some software you install and forget about anymore, right? It's a whole layered suite of countermeasures. You need next-generation firewalls acting as a digital bouncer. You need an antivirus shield using deep learning to catch new threats. You absolutely need managed threat response to actively hunt for intruders who might slip past the perimeter. Plus, specific countermeasures dedicated entirely to stopping phishing and ransomware attacks.
Okay, on to Section 3, and this is probably why a lot of you are here, comparing IT support costs. Let's talk real numbers.
So the crucial point is the stark contrast between how you can pay for all this. You've basically got two models. The old school way is the break-fix model. You wait for something to break, you call a guy, and you pay an unpredictable hourly rate. It's a total gamble. Contrast that with the modern managed IT model. This flips the script and turns all that risk into a predictable monthly flat fee, usually calculated per user, so your costs are 100% known upfront. Let's look at an apples-to-apples cost comparison. The typical hourly rate for break-fix support runs from $100 to $185 an hour. Now, what's absolutely wild here is that this perfectly mirrors the managed IT rate, which is $100 to $185 per user, but for an entire month of proactive coverage. Now, if you happen to be in a heavily regulated industry like healthcare or finance, that managed rate will bump up to between $150 and $280 per user per month.
Let's move to and see how this builds across different company sizes. If you're a small to medium business with, say, 5 to 20 users, you're looking at a monthly budget of about $950 to $2,700. A mid-market firm with 20 to 50 users, that's roughly $2,700 to $6,300. And an enterprise with over 120 users is generally going to start around $12,500 a month. The beauty of this model is that predictable budgeting scales smoothly as your team grows, rather than giving you random heart attacks during an emergency.
Section 4, Specialized Service Price Tags. Because while the monthly model covers the day-to-day, we do need to look at those unique, one-off projects. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the granular pricing for specific a la carte tasks. If you're not on a fully managed plan, basic remote support might run you $30 to $80 per instance. Need a whole new network setup? Typically $100 to $200. Assembling a PC ranges from $150 to $300, and getting a complex server configured will generally run you a one-time fee of $200 to $400. And hey, we definitely can't talk about specialized services without touching on compliance. If you're in a regulated field, healthcare, dealing with HIPAA, finance with SOC 2, or defense under CMMC, you are legally required to maintain incredibly strict standards. We aren't just talking about basic antivirus here. The law demands a highly secure, specialized, and heavily audited IT environment to prove you are keeping that data locked down.
Because those stakes are so phenomenally high, getting that level of expertise definitely comes at a premium. Bringing in a compliance auditor or a virtual chief information security officer can cost up to $330 an hour. That's built on top of standard managed services, but for regulated businesses, it's literally just the cost of keeping your doors open and staying out of major legal trouble.
We've covered a lot of ground today. Let's move into our final section, making the right choice for your specific business.
And this brilliantly illustrates the two main paths you can take to implement all this. The first is fully managed IT. This is perfect for businesses with zero internal IT staff. The provider steps in and literally becomes your entire IT department. The second route is co-managed IT. This is for when you already have an in-house tech team, but they're swamped. The MSP steps in to fill the gaps, handle overflow tickets, or provide deep cybersecurity expertise. It all comes down to what resources you already have under your roof.
At the end of the day, whatever path you choose, you want a frictionless relationship. As this real customer review perfectly points out, a great IT provider is a true partnership. It's about organizing your infrastructure and getting issues proactively solved before they cause you a single minute of downtime.
Which leaves me with one final critical question for you. Take a hard look at your own business today. Is your current IT setup just an unpredictable expense that keeps you up at night, or is it a proactive partnership that actually empowers your team to grow? I hope this explainer gave you the clarity you need to navigate these services, understand the costs, and upgrade your infrastructure with total confidence. Thanks for joining me.